Well, hello everybody, it is Spegtacular, the Silver Stacular. Today, I have hand-poured silver from none other than Spegtacular. That's right, I am pouring my own silver by hand, and it's a lot of fun, but stressful at the same time. I kind of wanted to show you and get rid of this hair that's just sitting there, gross. I want to show you kind of like what's going on with my silver pouring journey. I do have some pieces that are completely finalized and I want to show you those and get your feedback. I want to see what you think about those, if I need to change anything. Keep in mind that I am a total amateur. I've just started this, about a couple weeks now. It's not like I'm some kind of master craftsman when it comes to this stuff. But let me show you some pieces that are, being worked on now, and also the pieces that I have finalized. Tell me what you think. So these are pieces right here that I just simply poured and, shined them up a little bit. Tried to experiment with the ripple effect and trying to get the temperature right when it came to, pouring them into the mold. Had a few mishaps with that. Pouring, and made a few mistakes right here. So you can see like the star right there is a little bit jacked up. And I just used the hammer and the star stamps just to kind of see what things would be like, scratched up a little bit just to test it. I'm just gonna end up throwing that right back into the furnace and starting over, which is the nice part about pouring silver. You don't like what you did, you can just re-pour something. So there's a interesting piece, has a little nick off of it right there, but I think I could probably salvage that one a little bit. And yeah, man, this one's actually pretty nice. This was my very first one. So no, wait, I'm sorry. Disregard. Was this my first one? This is my very first star right here. Yes, this is my very, very first pour, period. And it actually came out okay. And then thereafter, I kept on making mistakes. But very first #1 pour that Spegtacular did right here. Now, that's not a finalized piece. That's, I'm still trying to work on things. Here's a decent piece with some ripples. But you can see there's little bubbles right there and some error right there in the middle. Things that I got to work on for sure, but I'll get a hold of it. This one came out pretty nice for the most part, kind of ripply, just a plain back right there, but I can stamp it. Let me show you some pieces that are completely done. This is the first piece right here that I'm going to show you now that I completely finalized. So I just hammered the snot out of it, really, and that's what that one's all about. I kind of like that textured look. Let me kind of zoom in a little bit. So that hammered look to it, I actually really, really do enjoy that. That's probably my favorite thing to do right now to these things, is just hammer the snot out of them and make them look like that. Stamping on a round piece of silver is actually a pain in the rear end. And I was able to sort of get a 2.5, which is how many ounces it is, and a prototype. I also have a stamp that says 999 fine silver, but in my logo, I don't know if you've ever noticed this in my logo, but it does say 999 fine silver right there on the logo. So I almost feel like that part of it is already complete. So I don't need to go crazy and stamp anymore. Because to me, with the hammered area, the less I stamp it, the better. Just because it looks better just to have that hammered look rather than the stamp look, don't you think? Anyways, that was my design. I think that came out pretty good. There are some options at this point too. This is a shiny kind of look to it. I could antique it, artificially tone it, or just regular tone it with sulfur, which to me is not really artificial. It's a real way of toning things. So I do have those capabilities. I could be doing that. I don't know. I feel like I just keep this one right here the way it is though. It's actually pretty nice, I think. So it just sits there and piece of silver. Now I do have some options. I thought maybe I could actually stamp right here the weight of the piece right on the front. That might be an option, which actually would help a lot with the circular pieces to stamp them that way. So, again, that's an option. I did stamp this one right here. This is just a hammered bar, and there's the stamp right there. So now an issue came up with my stamp. Of course, I don't really get a hold on to my stamp or anything like that. I'm buying it on the internet, and I'm kind of going by, measurements that I was given. Not that they were wrong measurements, but, I really don't know what it's going to look like until I get it onto the silver. So this is a large stamp, obviously. I mean, it goes right over past the silver. So I have reached out to the people that I bought the stamp from, trying to get a smaller stamp too for when I do smaller pieces. For instance, if I try to do this stamp right here on the star, most of it's gone. So I do need a smaller stamp that will fit onto the star. Maybe a, I don't know, maybe a 1/4 inch stamp, something like that. Which means they're gonna have to redesign everything. Anyways, this is a 2.6 ounce piece, so I thought that was actually pretty nice. So when I pressed it down, it ended up bending the silver because it's a 20-ton press. And actually, at first I was like, oh man, I kind of ruined it. But I don't know, I'm falling in love with this piece. Tell me what you think about with this piece and the other pieces too. You know, is this piece all right? Do you think I did okay on this one? Just this little round hammered piece and this little, I don't know what you would call it, a little curved hammered piece. Actually really like that curved part of it. So I could just go less on the pressure and not get the same curving and still get somewhat of a decent you know, mark right there with the stamp. I don't know though. I might just keep doing that. I don't know. I like that curved approach to it. Like it a lot. This right here is my first attempt at trying to hammer that gigantic stamp that I have, which is not going to do it. I mean, a hammer to that size of a stamp, it's huge. I mean, you got to get some real power in there. I put everything I had into it several times, and you can see it was barely imprinting it here. And finally, when I used the press, I found that I was actually getting some depth to it. So pressing with that size is definitely the way to go. It looks like I might have ruined this piece, but I can end up taking all that out and just redoing it and getting a nice piece right there, and probably having a piece that's similar to this right here where it bends. Of course, that is a larger piece. It might be more difficult. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. And here is one last piece. And again, there's the symbol. And I think I have on the edge, yes, I do, 3.8 ounces and a prototype, because this is the first type of this that I did. And yeah, just a nice little ripple effect there. So I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think. Maybe I'm in the wrong line of work right now, but it is a lot of fun. It's something a little extra to do. You can tell, or I can tell, I'm sorry, that there's not a lot of money really to be made over top of, you know, when you do this stuff. And I know what you think, like, oh man, the people that pour hand pour silver, they charge too much. There's a lot of work involved in this, and there's a lot of things that you have to buy in order to make these pieces look like this. So it's not just like, you know, the silver and you know, that's the only price you got to consider. There's a lot of equipment, and I've probably spent maybe $1,500 on equipment so far, you know, just to make a few pieces of silver. One of my furnaces broke. I had to replace the furnace, and so far this new one seems to be pretty good, and this is where I am right now. I have more silver to melt, but I kind of want to, you know, get used to stamping a little bit and kind of see if I can, you know, not master that, but at least get better at that for now. So yeah, that's where I am. That's kind of what I'm doing. I don't know. Tell me what you think. Tell me what you think about these pieces. You know, some are definitely cooler than others. Some are not so good, but I'm definitely working on it. I do like the Kit Kat, that kind of thinner piece. What do you think about that? They feel so good when they're in your hand like that. Yeah. I know a lot of people on my channel are not into poured silver. I mean, I have a lot of coin collectors that would not be interested in this stuff for sure. But it's something that I'm interested in right at this moment. And my interest could end up changing. Who knows? I mean, that's the way the male mind works, isn't it? We just change our interests so much. It feels so cool. It feels so good in your hand. And it's poured silver, so I can just touch it and just get my hands all over it. It's not going to hurt anything. If anything, it might actually increase the visualization and eye appeal of the look right there if I just touch it. Anyways, yeah, this is probably my favorite piece right here, this hammered piece. I even I handed it over to my wife and I said, hey, this is my first piece. What do you think about it? And she goes, ooh. She's like, I really don't, you know, care too much about silver, but she's like, that's really pretty. So even the wife liked it and the kids approved. So, you know, at the very least, I can pour it for myself and be pretty happy, right? So yeah, please leave me a comment. Tell me what you guys think about this. Am I really just wasting my time? Is it just, you know, worthless? There's definitely some things I'm going to improve on and change. Probably do things differently with the steps I take to get to a finalized product. Right now I tried a lot of tumbling of the silver. I'm probably going to hold off on tumbling and just probably not do that almost at all. Tumbling tends to remove a lot of the lines, the poured lines. even if you do it for a short time, even with, you know, less abrasive tumbling media like walnut. It's something that makes it look nice and shiny, but if you're going for a ripple effect, probably not the way to do it. And many of you guys probably pour and have poured and you know this stuff. It's me discovering things for the first time, you know, and maybe some of this, you know, these errors that I'm making and this, me talking about it, can help you if you decide to pour. You can be like, oh, he made that mistake, and I know not to make that mistake. This is kind of a neat piece how this turned out. I'm not sure why that ended up having that edge like that, but it made for a really interesting piece. And that's some of the beauty of hand-poured silver is, you know, you just pour them, but not every piece is the same. They're just little snowflakes every single time. It's not just a machine that, you know, presses out an American Eagle over and over and over again, and you might get one variety here and there, you know, or one little die crack that causes some neatness in the different Eagles, but this right here, that will never happen again. I mean, that little spot right there, the exact same way, you know, that would have almost dropped to my foot right there, and that would have been really bad. That would have been really bad. Anyways, yeah, I'm rambling on, but tell me what you think. You know, I'm very curious. I'm very, very curious. I will not be doing a live show today because I spent a lot of time doing this. I had to put a lot of equipment together, but I will. I might sneak in and just do a quick little live, but not an auction. How about that? No auctions today. And there will be a fancy coin guy video this Friday. If you want to go ahead and watch that, I would appreciate that. Always love when you come by and watch my videos. So, and you know, that's it. I'm rambling on. I gotta go for now. Spegtacular is out.